for someone who's nervous about buying a ticket, showing up for the first time, what would you tell them? Like, here's what you can expect at one of our events, and here is what I would tell somebody who's nervous to go.
Oh, yeah. Don't be too in your head. There's plenty of people who are worried about not saying the right thing. You're going to be
Mm.
amongst hundreds of them. So I would just, honestly, I'd take that first conscious breath, and you could take one with me if you want. If my microphone will pick it up, but it's a inhale, exhale. It's going to be okay. You're going to do a lot of walking and talking. I mean, I did, I got all my steps in it at this last convention. But you really do a lot of walking, a lot of talking to different people through all walks of life. They may have come from a completely different background than you. Be sure to get that, get ready to wash your hands because you will shake a lot of them. So I'm, a little bit of a germaphobe sometimes. Don't take it personal if you see me busting out hand sanitizer right after we shake. But I think it's a really good way to connect with your community. It's going to be, if you've never been, it can be a little daunting at first. But signing up through the committees is one of the great ways, or volunteering with NACA is one of the great ways to not only be involved, but to kind of meet people early on. So then that way, when you attend, you may see people from the committee there, as well as some of those, those directors or whoever is amongst NACA. So I think while it can be a little nerve-wracking at first, I think that if you really just take a second to take that first conscious breath, remind yourself why you're there, and then just be ready to have a good time too. It's not all, work, work, work. I think a lot of people forget that, you can write some of this off. It's almost like a mini vacation, if you will. And I will also preface that I am not an accountant, but, and this is not tax advice, but again, it is a good opportunity to be there and to shake hands and to meet like-minded individuals. So just expect to do some talking.
I do agree that the convention can for sure come off as overwhelming. It's definitely our bigger event and there's a lot of people there. So if you are a little nervous about that, attending a workshop first and kind of like dipping your feet, getting them wet and meeting some people at a workshop first, then maybe you will kind of feel more confident going into the convention. That's definitely an option. The workshops are going to be smaller, way less people versus the convention is going to be massive, way more classes. And that's where the interviews are going to happen in the big exhibit hall and things like that. So if you are nervous, that is something you could kind of take into account, is kind of go into something smaller. And like Julian said, volunteering first to get to know everybody so that you can see those friendly faces when you do go.
And that's a good point too, Jennifer, that you brought up, where if you're going to a workshop, I mean, it's not so much different, but I would say it's probably less scary for some people with social anxiety. I think that you're going to spend less days there typically, right? Like our Hail workshop or Hail and Wind workshop, it's only going to be like a day and a half, 2 days at
Yes.
most. So
1.5
yeah,
days and then the welcome reception before it if they choose to go, which is in my opinion, the welcome reception is a fantastic way to get to know people before things get serious too.
agreed. That is such a good point too. I feel like I would probably do the welcome reception first, just to, again, I'd get there early too, because when people are coming in, it's much easier to greet like 1 to 3 people as it is opposed to when everyone's kind of, I'm going to do air quotes here, but clicking up in a sense.
Yes, good point. And when they're in work mode. When they're
Very true.
first arriving, it's not as serious. The welcome receptions is everybody just kind of, warming up. And then once they're in work mode, it might come off that they're not wanting to socialize as much, but it would be great to kind of get to know some of those people for sure before.
Agreed.